Hi guys, transfer window closed this week, so we thought we'd go through the transfers, see how the clubs got on, how it would affect them. So yeah, let's get into it. Nick, thanks for joining, my bro. How you doing? You good?
After today's result, mate, no. But we move on.
We move on. Okay, yeah, we thought we'd go through the transfers, see who spent what, where have they strengthened. We'll start with, well, Arsenal have made no significant transfers, so let's go to Villa. Aston Villa, they bought in Tammy Abrahams, 18.2 million. I really like Tabby Abrahams. They looked a bit short up front. I know they've got Watkins doing well as well as Rogers, but I really like Tammy Abrahams. I used to chant him for England a few years back. I think he's a really good striker. Talk to me, bro. What do you reckon?
No, I agree 100%. We got the worse version of Tammy Abraham. We had Timmy Abraham instead. We got the Tammy Abraham of Timu. No, I'm only joking. No, great player. Knows where the back of the net is. Obviously, his goal last week was disallowed. I think he will do really, really well for Aston Villa. Is it a loan or is it a £21 million transfer? Is it?
It's an 18.2 million transfer, so from Besiktas. Obviously, they had him on loan for a short period of time, and
Right.
then they
Okay.
signed him and had the obligation to sign him, and obviously sold him on to Villa. So I think it's a really good move. He's 28 years old. He's still, well, he's in his peak now. I know he's been away. He started off really well at Rome when he went away, moved on to AC Milan, loan there when Mourinho left. So it got a bit messy in the end. A couple of transfer loans, but I'm back in England, back home, and I think he's ready to fire. You never know.
No, I agree. I think that's something that Villa have been crying out for. A striker.
Definitely
Um,
someone else to just
yeah.
help Ollie Watkins along. Do you know what I mean? You know, if
Oh,
they
one
really
hundred
want to,
percent.
you never know. That could be their. This could be. I know they drew today, but it could be a big push for their Champions League ambitions. Do you know what I mean? Have a proper striker in there as well. You know, gives them a bit of a different option as well.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, they've also signed Allison from Gremio, the right winger, 19 years old. They paid 10 million for him. He's meant to be quick, pacey, tricky winger. They need a, I've been saying the last few weeks for Villa, they look good. Their midfield's really strong, but their width, obviously they've got rid of Mallon. They've got back Bailey, but he's looks like he's gone off the ball. He doesn't look like himself for a good year or so. So it's good to have a bit of width, stretch teams, a bit of impetus for down the wings.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, most Brazilians that are young, i.e., my club's had it with Rodrigo Muniz, they sort of come into fruition a few years later. So if you buy them at 18, 19, they normally start doing well 21, 22 after a couple of loan moves. But we see with this guy, I don't really know too much about him, but Grêmio, obviously a prestigious club in Brazil, and they wouldn't have signed him for no reason if he wasn't worth their time.
Yeah, I know it's only 10 minutes, not massive money, but I've heard a few clubs were interested in him. So Villa have pulled a nice little coup getting him in, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Definitely. Other transfers I've noticed, Douglas Luiz, we know he's at loan at Forest, didn't get many games. Obviously went back to Juventus and he's come back to the club. Obviously started for Man City, but when he made his name in England, it was really at Villa a few years ago before he left to Juventus, you know. So I think that's a really good move. I think they needed someone else in there because obviously a big player who I really rate is Kamara from their centre midfield. He's injured for the rest of the season. Massive player for them, tackler, the engine room in there alongside Onana as well. Yeah, they replaced him with Douglas Luiz, a good replacement. I think Douglas Luiz, 27 years old, he's got something to prove.
Yeah, hopefully he can pick up where he left off. He was really good at Villa, and he done well. And didn't he go out? Wasn't it Saudi he went out to?
Who's that?
Douglas Luiz. Did he
No,
go out to Saudi when he left
he went on a
Villa?
transfer. They had to sell him PSR reason to Juventus, didn't they? But he had a terrible season last season.
Right,
Didn't
yeah.
play much. So this season he went on loan to Forest for the first half. Didn't work out. Played a few handful of games. Went back, and obviously Villa were taking him on loan again.
I'll get him mixed up with Duran. That's who I'm getting mixed up with. Yeah,
Yeah, Duran's moved
I
again though, hasn't
remember.
he? He's gone
Yeah, I
another
remember.
transfer again, Duran. He's gone again.
Oh my God.
So he was at Fenerbahce on loan, and then he's gone. He was at El Nassr, went to Fenerbahce. Now he's gone somewhere else. I can't tell you where it is, but he's moved. I saw it yesterday. I
I
was
think he
thinking,
just loves the money more than the football, to be fair.
yeah, he's only young as well, isn't he? It's mad.
He's got a lot to prove, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Also, Aston Villa have got in Leon Bailey. They've probably got him in, or recalled him from loan from Roma. Well, they've got rid of Mallon. They needed some width. And yeah, they've just got him in, called him back. And they'll probably sell him at the end of the season. But I think Villa are really hamstrung by PSR problems. So they're trying to work their little loans as well as
Yeah.
as well, you know. So it's a bit hard for them. I feel sorry for Villa because they are really trying to push last couple of years, but every time they get ahead, a bit like Newcastle, every time they get ahead, PSR problems, they go one step forward, two steps back with the money, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's getting like that with most clubs except your top fours.
Well, Newcastle obviously they had to sell. Look who they had to sell. They had last season, well, a couple of years ago, they had to sell flipping Elliot Anderson. Look at him now.
Yeah,
Shame. What a shame. They're just bouncing players back and forth. It's really annoying, to be honest.
that's the way of the Premier League, though, now, I think, and modern day football.
Yeah, protect the big ones, I suppose. Eh, it's actually
Yeah.
annoying. Okay, we move on to Bournemouth. Bournemouth has signed another centre forward stroke flying winger called Ryan from Vasco da Gama. He's only 19. Good player, they're meant to be. He bought him for 30 million. Funny enough, because what I read, he signed last week or 2 weeks ago, and they've instantly inserted a £100 million release clause. They're thinking, right, he's in to replace Semenya in a year or 2 years' time. We'll get that big pay packet. We're not going to get done like we did with Semenya, you know? We're going to put a big fee on straight away.
I mean, it's good from a business perspective. I'm happy to see sort of smaller clubs like Bournemouth do that. I think that teams down the lower end of the table need to insert those contract clauses. Who knows? I mean, he's a very sort of unknown entity, but if they've slapped £100 million release clause on him, he must be something special. And we'll see in the coming months what he gets up to and how many goals and contributions he'll make to the Bournemouth side as they look to sort of get away from the bottom end of the table.
Yeah, I did hear it's a name that has popped up a few times, and I've heard him at big clubs. Even Liverpool scouted him, but I think someone like Bournemouth they offer you that pathway into the first team that Liverpool couldn't straight away. You're a 19
Oh,
year old.
100.
You're going to take
Yeah.
another year or two, like you said, to come to the Premier League to acclimatise yourself to the Premier League. Someone like him, I think he's already played a game for them. As Liverpool, they'll be getting them trying to integrate him within for the end of the summer, towards summertime. So I think obviously what they're dangling in front of them will give you minutes. If you look at other players, we'll give you the minutes, we'll give you that time and that progression that you need. You know.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. No, I agree
Yeah.
with you.
I'm excited. It must be an exciting player. I'm looking forward to seeing him as well. They've also signed Alex Toth, the centre midfielder from Hungarian champions, 10 million.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about him. Yeah, they've signed him from Ferencváros.
Robbie Keane, your
Robbie
guy.
Keane's team. Yeah, my guy. Yeah. He looks the part. I've done a little bit of research on him. He's a Hungarian international, right?
Yeah, already. I think he's got 12 caps already.
Yeah. So
He's only 20. That's quite good. Playing centre midfield alongside Sobozlai.
yeah, he looks sort of your utility man who will look to break into the first team pretty quickly. And I think he's got the capabilities to do it. He's definitely got the stature and the physique to do it as well. So we'll see how he gets on. I think Bournemouth have made a few good signings in the January transfer window. What about? How do you feel about it?
I think one thing about Bournemouth we do know they buy really well and they sell really well as well, but they've got a good scouting network. Regardless if Richard Hughes has gone or not, he was just obviously the sporting director or director of football. There are a lot of scouts that work tirelessly, I'm sure. So it's one of them ones a bit like Brighton. If they bring you in, you know there's a good player there.
Yeah, one hundred
And you're
percent.
going to get a chance. You're going to get a chance. You're going to get minutes. You're going to get time to develop. They're not going to rush you. A bit like Alex Scott. I think Alex Scott's got a real big future about him, you know. Good player, overrated when he's at Bristol City, if I'm honest with you. But they've come in, they've given him a chance, given him minutes, and he's becoming a really good player, I think, Alex Scott.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He was.
Works that way. Sometimes players need to make that step up from the Championship to the Premier League.
Yeah. They've also signed Fraser Forster on a free transfer. I think it's a decent transfer from there. He didn't have a club, so bring him in. Back up.
A- Absolute great goalkeeper, especially in his day. He's had some great spells at your Celtics, your Southamptons,
Hmm.
even at Spurs. He was pretty decent. Yeah, he's a keeper that you can rely on. He can pull off a blinder of a save. I know a lot about Fraser, but I think he's a great
I think
second
he's a
option.
good pro as well, good professional, you know.
Yeah, he's a great second option as well. I've had the pleasure of meet. I've had sorry,
Oh, nice.
nice
Good
guy.
lad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very tall, very tall, very tall.
But yeah, he seems like a good lad. But I think they're thinking it as well. Obviously, they've got the Chelsea keeper on loan. If he goes back next season, they've still got Fraser as a number one or as a backup. You know, either, you know. So yeah, long term planning is good. I like it.
No, I agree.
All right, we move on to Brentford. They bought in one player, K Furo. He's a centre forward. He's 18 years old. He's young. 8 million, no, still a lot for a young buck who's only played a few games for Club Bruges.
One thing I will
Striker.
give Brentford credit for as a Fulham fan, which I don't particularly like giving them credit, but it is what it is. They're very good at signing young players. They've got a good scouting network and they know how to utilise the market and go to the
Mm,
Belgian leagues, the Dutch leagues and the Danish leagues and acquire those young, talented players. I mean, look at
definitely.
Thiago. Look how well he's done this year.
Unknown for us. Unknown to us. A couple of years. He's been there for a couple of years, you know.
Yeah, I mean, although I didn't know he was as young as he was, he's certainly done well.
That's jokes.
And I think this other guy, he's got the capabilities to do well as well. I think the coaching standards at Brentford's pretty good as well.
Mm.
And they're able to develop young players and sell them on at a big profit.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to look out for this guy. Obviously, that's obviously back up to Thiago. So yeah, he'll have a good mentor in front of him, scoring goals. I think Thiago's on 17 goals, which is unreal for that season for Premier League.
Absolutely crazy. He's going to get a lot of offers this year.
Oh yeah, that's probably why they got this guy in, because they know long-term planning. You know, that's what the smaller clubs have to do now, because the big teams just cherry picking their players all the time. So they got to
Yeah,
be coming with a proper plan. You know.
100%.
Yeah, that was it for Brentford, really. We move on to Brighton. They've gone back and got Pascal Gross. We know him for a long time. He left Brighton a couple of summers ago, and they bought him back for like 1.2 million from Borussia Dortmund. Goodbye, I
Great,
reckon.
yeah, great bargain
Mm.
signing, bringing him back. When he played for Brighton beforehand, I highly rated Pascal
Always
Gross.
been a good player for them, you know.
Yeah, he had a good time out in Germany as well, playing for Borussia Dortmund, and he probably feels it is his time to sort of come back, and he has a little bit more to offer to the Prem. Although Brighton are not really doing that well at the moment in the league, good signing for Brighton.
Yeah, definitely. But I think one thing about Brighton, I do rate Brighton. I do rate their system, but they flipping get a lot of players in. You know, they stockpile them and just they churn a lot of players in and out. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and a lot of them are
Yeah,
quite young, so it's nice having your Milners there, your experienced players. Like Pascal Gross, how old is he now? Pascal Gross is he's
32,
34, 34.
34. Wow,
He'll still
wow.
get games. He will still get games in that team
Yeah,
because they need that experience. They need experienced players. 30, getting late 30s now, so he can't play as many games. But having someone maybe when Milner moves on in that role, that will be a senior member of the team that's going to help those players. You know, I think they need that. I think I think that's we've been talking about. I think that's something like what Chelsea need, not a 34-year, but like a 32-year-old experienced winner that's been there, done it all to say, look, you know.
oh
So
yeah,
yeah, I think Pascal Gross
100%.
would be a good signing for them.
Yeah,
Definitely, I really like him as a player. He's always been like quite scored some important goals and stuff in the last few years when he was there as well. You know. Okay, Burnley. We're not talking about loans really, but they did get a significant loan in James Ward-Prowse, 31 years old. I don't think they did enough in the window, but I think he's someone that
don't think
can
they've done
help
enough.
them.
Full stop.
I don't think they've done, like I said, I don't think they've done enough at all. But I think getting him in from on loan, I think he offers them something that they haven't got, which is some set pieces. He offers them a bit of creativity, free kicks, set pieces, a bit more quality on the ball, as in with the free kicks and things that could help them nick a few points here and there, you know?
Yeah, James Ward-Prowse. I mean, I would have definitely snapped your arm off for him a couple of years ago at Fulham. I think he will do okay at a struggling Burnley side. I think that's a signing that Scott Parker needed to bring in. I can't really see Burnley picking up too many points. I mean, look at today; they got absolutely humiliated against West Ham. I think it's done now. I think they need to prepare again for life in the Championship. I'm getting a bit bored of Burnley, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think it's probably the end of the road for them anyway. But like I said, I don't think
Mm.
they've done enough for the window, but I think James Ward-Prowse is a decent signing for them, you know?
Yeah,
Okay, we're looking for Chelsea. Chelsea didn't really make anyone significant moves, really. Crystal Palace. Let's talk about
cool.
Strand Larson. He's 25 years old, obviously from Wolves. It's 43 million plus 5 million add-ons. A lot of money.
It's a
Like we
big
said,
gamble.
it's a big gamble for them. But we made a podcast about it the other day. We've had a few talks. I've had a few discussions with Palace fans. They're saying, look, they reckon he's going to be a better player than Mateta. I'm saying I don't think he's going to get you 15 plus goals in the Premier League. I've had a few messages on TikTok saying I think you guys are wrong. He's not overrated. Or he's not overpriced. I think he is
Wow.
personally, but
Yeah, no, I
I
I
back
think
them.
he
They
is
say
as
they're going to give
well.
him a chance, and you got to respect him for that. You know, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I mean they've done more than other clubs have done in terms of signing a striker, i.e., yeah, Fulham. But they spend money, Palace.
Mm.
They've gone out and they've spent 70. What is it, £75 million?
Something like that.
It's a lot of money,
Yeah.
but they've needed to spend that in
85.
order to 85, even more. And what's that on? That's on two players.
Yeah, they've also signed. So how do you think Brennan Sean Larson will do before we move on?
I think he's going to have a lot better quality around him to provide him with a service to get the goals.
Mm.
Um, I don't know. I still don't rate him, mate. To be quite honest, I think he's an average Premier League striker. I might get slaughtered for this, but yeah, I think he's average. I think he's good, but he's not a world beater. And I think they've overpaid Palace.
But one thing you got to
Brennan.
reflect on, they might have overpaid, but they've gone out and tried to address the issues in the squad. And I think a lot of teams nowadays, not being rude, including Fulham, don't do that enough. They see the
Oh no.
problem, they won't address it. And do you see what I'm trying to say? At least they've gone out and they've said, look, we might not be able to get who we want, but we're going to pay for this guy because we think he can do it. And they've tried to show ambition and try to get a good striker in. They know Mateta's on the go. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to get someone in now, pay the big money if we have to. In hopefully 25, he's got years. He's not near to his prime. He's got a few years to go to his prime. So in a few years' time, he could be a really good striker for them. But I respect him for showing that ambition. I think they've overpaid as well, but showing the ambition to try and go and get what they need. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, the Brennan Johnson as well. We'll touch briefly upon that. I think again, I'm not getting at Palace fans. I quite like
It sounds
Crystal
like
Palace.
you are, but all right.
I think they've overpaid for Brennan Johnson big time.
35.
£35 million is a lot of money.
That's including that
It's a
British tax
lot.
though.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player, but is he worth that amount? I think they've had their
Tottenham's top
pants.
scorer last season.
Yeah,
I think
but
got like
again,
18 goals. 18 goals from the wings is a good play, bro. Name
he
any
is a
wingers get 18 goals in all comps from the wings. Tell me.
he is a good player, but
Offers
is he worth
pace.
is he worth that? Do you think he's worth that? It's a lot of money.
I think he is. I really do. I actually think he is. It sounds like a lot of money for. Listen, he's Tottenham's top scorer last season. They've been poor. He's 24 years old. He comes with a British tax. He counts as a homegrown player. I think I think he's worth it. I think he offers them goals. He offers them creativity and goals down the wings. He's got pace to burn. I think it's decent. I think it's not bad, but I think it's a lot of money between both of them. Though, if you look at it together and you think, right, 50 or 48 for him and 35, it sounds like a lot of money. It's nearly 80 million plus, and you're thinking, have they got enough quality for that money? And personally, it sounds bad, but I don't. I think with 80 million, you could have gone and got two better players, but. I respect him for the ambition, and I think Johnson's worth it. If he gives them 15 goals a season,
I would have paid around the 25, £28 million mark.
okay, this is not
No
a
more than that.
comparison. This is not a comparison. But for instance, let's look at this. Let's look at Eze going to Arsenal for 67 million, all right? I'm not saying Brendan Johnson is anywhere near that level. I bet you scored more goals than in all comps than Eze last year. How much do you want to bet? Even though
Yeah,
Eze might have scored more important goals like the FA Cup winners, I'm just saying, as a whole body of work, I bet you outscored Eze.
yeah. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, Brennan Johnson is more of let's say, a natural
He's
goal
an
scorer.
outlet. He's an outlet.
Yeah, he is an outlet than Eze. Eze's more of a creative, midfielder who
Yeah, but Eze
can.
in for twice the price. That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Could be that the fact that Eze's an English international and Brennan Johnson's a Welsh international, that could play a part in it if you think about it.
Yeah, fair enough, bro. I think he's worth it. But yeah, it's a good discussion. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we move on. Them two, let's see how they can get on. Palace are in a bit of a slump at the moment, so I'm hoping they can help him finish as hard as they can. I don't want to see him in a relegation scrap. I don't think they deserve to be in a relegation scrap. They've obviously lost their captain, Mark Gay, but then they've got a couple of decent defenders there. So we'll have to see how they get on. Hopefully they
Yeah.
should be all right. We went to Everton, no significant moves. The only one is a loan move. Tariq George. I really like Tariq George. He's 19. Obviously plays on the left wing, but he can play across the front line. Loan from Chelsea. I think he's a really good buy. Gives him a bit attacking threat. I think he's a good player, man. Always looks exciting when I see him play.
Yeah, highly rate him. Fulham should have gone into him.
You had a chance to get him in the
Sorry,
summer, didn't you?
yeah, gone in for him. We didn't. We didn't acquire his services. And he's gone to Everton. I think he will offer Everton so much more. Coming off the bench as a 19-year-old towards the end of the game, it offers them more of a dynamic. Either
Bit of
getting
pace
back
as
into the
well, bit of
game.
pace up
Yeah, a
there.
bit of pace to run at defenders, tired defenders. He's young, he's full of energy. And
I
he's a
find you
Chelsea
get these,
Chelsea Academy product, which
yeah,
more or less is a great acquisition.
definitely. You get these young players. I find sometimes you get these young players and they just give you a bit of enthusiasm. You know, that youthful enthusiasm. They will chase things down, and sometimes that can be that's contagious. It just spreads to the other parts of the team. Having a youngster in the team, he's going to come to there now, wanting either to prove to get a transfer away from Chelsea, to say, look, I'm here, I'm ready, or to get back into that Chelsea team. So he's got a lot to prove. When you go on and loan moves, the one thing you want to do is perform, look, and show everyone what you can do. That's what it's all about when you're on loan, showing what you can do. So I think it'd be a really good signing for Everton.
Oh, 100%. I agree completely. Highly rate him.
Definitely right. Your club, Fulham, you've bought Oscar Bob. Was it 27 plus million? 22 years old
Yeah,
from Man City.
I mean, it's a good name on paper to buy. We'll see how he gets on. I mean, he wasn't really given that many minutes today to sort of change the game. Fell over the ball a few times, but we've got to give him a chance.
Debut nerves, bro. Debut nerves. Come on.
Got to get behind him, and we'll see in the coming months how he gets on. But yeah, he looks a talented part. I've watched him play, and I've watched some clips of him, and he looks like he could improve our side.
Did you really need a right winger though? Or was it one of them ones where a good quality player becomes available and you thought, let's get him in?
Yeah, because we got rid of a bad quality player with Adama Traore. The guy
Man,
that
still bothered about that West Ham scrap last week, innit?
the guy that runs off the pitch and skills himself up. He's now left our football club, which I think it was time for him to depart. He gave us some good memories. He scored some decent goals, but yeah, all pace, no end product, and
Mm.
good luck at West Ham, Adama Traore. I think you're going to need it. But yeah, I mean, our transfer window has been nothing short but shambolic. What would you think of that? What do you think?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I like Fulham. I like Fulham. I like Marcus Silva. I like what he does. But every bloody transfer window that goes past and you don't get a striker in, I think you're doing Marcus Silva the wrongers. And if he leaves this summer, I don't blame him. I'm not, like Fulham are a London club. I'm a Londoner. Big up. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just every time you don't get him a striker, it pisses me off. And I think they're doing him a wrongers. You got a good manager and you're doing him a wrongers. You won't give him the tools to fight. I just see it like that.
How do you think I feel? I've been saying it over the last 2 years. We need to replace.
Listen, this is no disrespect to Raul Jimenez. I think he's a good player, but he's getting on. We
Oh, he
know
is
that. And
100%.
Muniz has got obviously injury problems. He was injured. He's very patchy with his form and stuff. So I think you need a good, solid. I don't know. It's a shame. Like I said, a Tariq George. I know he's not a striker, but someone that's got a wing, that's got pace, that's got goals in him as well. I just think they need like a proper striker, bro. A fit, reliable, young, enthusiastic striker. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think every club should have three or four strikers, but it's not that way inclined anymore. It's
Mm,
not like it was in the early 2000s where teams had three or four strikers. It's now two.
yeah, it's a shame.
But yeah, we haven't brought in a striker yet again, and it's gonna cost our hopes of European football for the second season in a row now.
Yeah, it's a shame. But going back to Oscar Bob, I think he's a good young player. I remember when he burst onto the scene a couple of years ago. I thought he looked like a really, really top prospect, and I think got a really bad injury. Didn't he? He was out for like nearly a year, and I think that really slowed down his progress at Man City. But if he wasn't, I think he'd be a Man City regular. If I'm really honest with you, I think he might have popped out someone like, I don't know, someone like Bernardo Silva, who's a class player, but he might be getting less. He would have been diminishing his minutes, and Oscar Bob might have been moving in that creative role. But it's a shame when you get injured, can ruin your career. I'm glad he's got another chance to get minutes and hopefully he'll do well for you lot.
Yeah, and he's a Norwegian international, which is another pro to acquire his services. He's going to
Yeah,
look
he's
to
gonna play
obviously,
alongside his international teammate, won't he?
yeah, Sander Berge is going to be looking to get in the World Cup squads.
Yeah, definitely. We go on to Leeds. The only one of significance is Facundo Benoite. He was on loan at Chelsea from Brighton, and I think they've ended that loan. He's ended up coming to Leeds. Now, Leeds have been doing really well, but he will add creativity and not many goals, but a creative force to that team. To be honest with you, not really a position that they've been struggling with scoring goals of late, but he's a creative force, and hopefully they'll get some minutes. He's 21, good young player, good signing, I reckon.
No, I agree. Buonanotte, he's talented. I've always rated him. I would have had
So
him
have
at I would have had him at Fulham. I
I.
mean, he struggled last season in a really poor Leicester side, but he's done well for Brighton. I think he'll do well for Leeds. He's a really quick, short, little, fast player, and he can get in the box and he
He
can
does.
cut in, out, and wide, and he's got a good pass on him as well.
Really creative. I always find it a bit strange when they loan players out to the struggling teams that are coming up, because I think you're just setting them up for a fall, aren't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
you're
make
setting
good
him up
players
to
look
fail.
bad,
Yeah,
set them up to
yeah.
fail. I'm not saying that, you know, someone especially like a creative player, because he's not going to get much chance to create in a Leicester team. I find if you're going to send a defender, he might get peppered, or a centre midfielder, but they're going to
Mm.
get minutes and learn the game. Someone like an attacking midfielder like him, you might have two good games against lower promoted teams as well, or lower relegation teams. The rest of the team, you're struggling, fighting, defending all the time, so you never get to showcase your skills. It's a
Yeah,
shame though.
yeah, I agree. You're never sort of on the front foot.
Yeah, you're always
Which
defending and backs to the wall, defending and stuff. It's not.
no, he needs freedom to play. I mean, last year when we played Leicester, that's exactly what he was doing. He was sort of just defending, and he was never really getting on the ball.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
you're better off just. To me, you're better off sending him, instead of sending him to a lower league for Premier League experience. You're better off sending him to a higher league Championship level, like I suppose like a Middlesbrough, someone that's pushing for promotion, because they'll be trying to
Yeah.
play attacking football and trying to win the games. You're better off sending him to a lower league, but to get more experience in his position. I think it works better that way.
Oh, 100%.
But obviously they run it, they know better. But we'll see, we'll see. Right, move on to Manchester City. We know they've got in Semenya, 64 million, great buy. He started like a house on fire. He's started some really good stats. But deep down, from his choices that he had, Liverpool, other teams as well, I don't know if that's the best move for him. It looks like it now. But long term, I don't know if it's going to be the best move for him. He said he wanted to work. We wanted to work under Pep Guardiola. What happens if Guardiola leaves at the end of the season? Because we think I personally, we've discussed. I think he might. We've said he doesn't like that individual skill set type of player that tries to beat people, that's looking for the counter attacks. As he's playing in
Mm.
Bournemouth, he's a possession based. I told you the other day, I saw him against Tottenham. He's looking to make certain runs in. No one's playing him in. He's getting a bit frustrated because it just didn't. No, they don't play like that, do they? They want to play the extra pass before they get you in, and it doesn't. I don't know if it suits
I've
him.
all I've always rated Anton Semenyo. Even when he was at Bristol City, I mean Fulham played him one time, and he scored against us. He's just a fantastic player. He
He's a
really
really
is. I
good
mean,
player, strong,
he's
homegrown.
been linked. Yeah, he's been linked with loads of different clubs. Your Chelseas, your Arsenals, your Liverpools, and then now he's playing at Man City. It depends how Man City want to utilize him. Like you said, if they're going to try and strip him of his skillful counter-attacking play, I think it won't work out. But I think if they allow him to play like he has at Bournemouth, there's a great talent there, and I think he'll
Agreed.
do really really well if they allow him to do those things and play that way.
Yeah, I really like him. It's a shame that we didn't get him, but yeah, big up, respect to him. And listen, when you start from where he started from, he's had big rejections, moved on to, like I said, Bristol City, made a name for himself there. Richard Hughes got him to Bournemouth for silly money, and then they've sold him on to make big money. And good luck to him. I hope he does really well.
Yeah.
Right, they've also signed Mark Gay from Crystal Palace, 20 million initial fee. I think it's 5 million add-ons. 25 years old. I think he's England's best defender. He goes into the World Cup as England's number one defender. Top, top, top buy. And yeah, they've gone out, they've splashed them, and they've had injury problems. Diaz has been really injury prone of late. John Stones is getting on. Ake is getting on. Kuzmanov is not ready. So I think what I feel sorry for him for, I don't want to happen to him. I don't want him to become that only good defender in that team and you start getting ripped apart, because we know that it's you know what I mean. Sometimes when if there's nothing around you, you can be the best defender in the world. If you got crap around you, not crap, but not top enough players that are on your level around you, you look bad. It just happens. You know what I'm saying? And I think with Palace, he was playing through at the back. And even though I think he is a good defender, he's not the best aerially because he's not the tallest and he's not the best aerially. So having like those players at Palace alongside him obviously protected him and made him play in the back three. Obviously, you have protection as a centre back. So Man City don't play that. So he can be, as we've seen a couple of times last week, you can be a bit more exposed playing in the two where he's accustomed to playing as a three at Palace. What do you think?
No, I agree with you 100%. He's a great signing for Man City. Whether he'll be the best defender there is another question. But you're right. If he is and he's the only best defender there, there's chances where he'll get ripped apart by teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, and even like your Newcastles and your Brentfords and things like that. Teams that will run at you and try and cause you problems. But around the £20 million mark, especially considering that he only had 6 months left on his contract, that is an absolute steal
Bro,
and
in my eyes,
bargain for
he's a
City.
£65 million defender. That's a bargain. Even if you're paying him 350, you're gonna and like sign on fee, you've saved 40 million in my eyes. So he's a top international. I'm disappointed that Liverpool didn't get him. Obviously, we tried this summer, but I'm so disappointed, man.
Yeah, I can imagine you would be disappointed because he was linked with Liverpool. He was really heavily linked, and then City have just come in and swooped.
Well, in the summer, even the summer, he did his goodbye videos at Palace, didn't he? He was gone. He'd already nearly signed. Did you know?
Did he do a medical at Liverpool or not?
Bro, the medical was passed. He'd already at Palace.
Wow.
He'd already done his buy video. Just catch you later, Palace fans. Thank you very much. They were going to do pictures of him in a Liverpool shirt, and that's when Glasner threw that bombshell. If you sell Gay, I'm gone. And they pulled the plug. He was literally Liverpool. He was in Liverpool. He'd done the medical. He'd passed it. He'd ready to sign the contract, and they pulled the plug. But water under the bridge, it all goes past. We move on.
I mean, what I like about Gay, he remained professional throughout the whole
Yeah, you
time.
respect him for that. That shows what a professional he is as a person, as a man, that he just didn't think, oh, heads down, I'm going to throw my dummy out. He just played for Palace, kept his head down, and he got his big move and respect to him. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? He could have chosen any club in the world in my eyes. He could have gone Real Madrid, Barca, anywhere. That's how good he is, I reckon.
That might be his next place in 2-3 years' time. You never know.
You never know. Just don't follow Trent. It's not a good move, all right? United, they didn't make any big moves, nor did Newcastle. Nottingham Forest, they signed Luca Netz, who's a young left back from Gladbach. I've seen him play as an attacking left back, strong. Reminds me a bit like Kirkes, but they got him for like 1.5 million. So I don't know. This guy, his value's dropped a lot, but yeah, they're strengthening that left back. I can't think who the left back is at the moment. They're playing Neco Williams over there, so obviously they needed a bit of depth in that position.
They're really struggling, Nottingham Forest. It's going to be a real tight end to the season. I mean, West Ham are really catching up now. We discussed on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. We thought it was done for West Ham. It's now reversing. And Nottingham Forest, I don't know. I think they could have made a few more signings. I think they needed, your 5 or 6 to get them out of that position that they're in. But who knows? You never know.
Yeah, I thought they needed a goal scorer, to be honest with you. But they have also signed Ortega, the goalkeeper from Manchester City, for £500,000, which is, he's got experience. He's won trophies there, and he comes in as a backup, I suppose. I
But
can't
do you
think
think
of.
that's what you need to keep you in the division? I think that's
Are they thinking for the beginning of next season when Sales would go? Sales is a decent keeper, a decent shot stopper. He might go in the summer. So they're thinking ahead. Ortega's 33. I
but
personally think they need a goal scorer, but they didn't get one. So
yeah, I agree with you. But they've also replaced. I mean, Sells is pretty old himself, and they've replaced. They're going to be replacing an old goalkeeper for another old goalkeeper.
well, mate, a couple of years ago they had flipping Nevas from PSG. He was like, they're not bothered about old aging goalkeepers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, true. So yeah,
You know. Okay. Sunderland got a couple of transfers in there. Signed Nielsen Angula, who is a left winger. They got him from Anderlecht for 16 million. Don't know much about him, to be honest with you, but attacking winger, pace. I'm expecting should be a decent buy.
I mean, we didn't know a lot about Sunderland's acquisitions apart from like Xhaka and Enzo Lefay.
Yeah,
Sunderland, what a club!
what
They've done
absolute crazy
extremely
story
well
this
this
season.
season. Yeah,
Crazy.
I'm beaten at home all season, and that is because of their recruitment and other things. How do you feel about Sunderland's business? Did you think they needed to strengthen in any way, or?
I thought they probably needed a bit more creativity. I think that midfield they've got of Siddiqui, Enzo Lefay. I know Lefay gets forward a bit more, but I think he needs to sit sometimes. Sometimes I see them getting exposed in the centre of the field where he's trying to make those runs forward alongside Xhaka. He tries to make that runs forward when I think he needs to just sit and keep more compact with them. And they needed a bit more width, a bit more attacking flair, to be honest with you. They had a Dingra, they've got rid of a Dingra, and they've got in obviously Angulo. They brought in another player called Jocelyn Tibai, he's from Maccabi Netanya. This is the Israeli league. Only 3 million. An Ivory Coast international who's 20 years old. They do like their African players. Fair enough to them because they've been really successful with them. So why change it when it's working? You know, they got rid of a Dingra and they've got in this guy to play right wing. So bit more creativity, pace. They're both young, like I said, young, enthusiastic, hungry players. You know, from the Israeli league and the Belgium league, you've got your big shot at the Premier League. You're going to want to impress. And not being funny, you ain't coming to a struggling team. You're coming to a team who've just been promoted and they're pushing. They've got a chance to get
And
into
they're
Europe, which is
flying. Yeah, they're
amazing. You know,
flying big time. Yeah,
flying.
no,
So
I agree, 100.
there was a lot of talk this week about, or last few weeks, about their goalkeeper. Is it Roos? Rose?
Yeah, Robin Roofs. Yeah,
Robin Roofs. So they've gone and got in a goalkeeper called Elborg from Malmo, young 22-year-old goalkeeper for 2.5 million. So they're probably backing it up. I read today this week that they were saying if anyone wants him, 50 million.
I've heard a lot about him.
The goalkeeper, El.
Yeah, from the Swedish league. Yeah, he looks pretty decent. But
Yeah, they
if they
got
are
good.
looking to sell Robin Roofs, he would be a good replacement.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, they've got a really good scouting system down there. Sunderland, like Sadiq. Sadiq is a beast. He's only small, absolute beast. Whenever I see him, I'm impressed with him. Honestly, I'm just blown away by that guy. He's a top little player, you know. So yeah, they've got a good scouting network. You've got to trust them. It's working for them, you know.
Oh, 100%.
All right, Tottenham. I know the Tottenham fans were looking for a good few transfer. They got in Conor Gallagher from Atletico Madrid, £34 million, 25 years old. Right now, not current, but he's an England international. I think he's a decent player for Tottenham. They needed someone else in the engine room. I thought Tottenham, they've got a good, strong midfield there. They got Sarr, Palhinha, Bentancur, but I thought what they need in that midfield, and they got I can't think of his name now. But what they have in there, they haven't got much creativity in there. I think that Tottenham midfield is a bit too workmanlike, especially when they're at home. So Gallagher would give them a bit more of attacking edge. He's not attacking midfielder, but he's an eight, isn't he? He can go up and down. We saw him at Palace a few years ago. He scores goals, works hard, good player.
Um, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one.
That's fair enough.
I'm not a fan of Conor Gallagher. I think he's very overrated. He had his good season at Atletico Madrid. I don't think he'd done much at Chelsea. Where was he on loan at Charlton as well? He did impress there, but for me, he's not the type of player that I'd personally want. I think he could do well at Spurs. I don't know. I just think he's overrated for me, and I think
Fair enough.
it's a lot of
I think
money.
he's a decent player. I think he's a world beater, but I think he's a decent player. You know, he's going to want to push, trying to get into the England squad for the World Cup. You never know. The place up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean, you won't be able to do that if you're in a relegation battle.
You say that. You say that. They pick players who doesn't even play for their club sometimes, bro. So you never know. They've all got a chance. You know what I mean?
True, yeah, true, yeah, yeah.
They got another player, left back called Souza from Santos. I think it was 13 million. Obviously, long term planning because he's only 19. But Doggy looks a decent player, but he is erratic. Ben Davies is injured for us this season. He's probably going to leave at the end of the season as well. So they're thinking long term. You know, like about these Brazilians, take a year or so to acclimatise. So that's one for the future. You know.
Yeah, I think Ben Davis's time is well and truly up. He's been a great servant to Spurs, and he's getting on now. And I think De Souza will be a great acquisition for Spurs in the long run.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully. Brazilian left back. They're normally attacking flying wingers basically. So we'll have to see how that goes. Right. We spoke about West Ham. We said they need firepower. They need a new midfield because their midfield didn't look strong enough. They've shipped a couple of them out. They've gone and got themselves a striker, 22-year-old Pablo Felipe from Gil Vicente, the Portuguese league, for £20 million. Striker. They've also gone and got Castellanos, the 27-year-old Greek from Lazio. They paid 25 million for him as well. So they've gone and listen, once again, I'll big them up, show ambition. They've gone and they needed strikers, they needed goals in that team. They've got Callum Wilson, but we know he's injury prone. They've gone and got themselves two strikers. Let's shoot ourselves out of this this Premier League relegation battle. We've got to big them up. We've got to give them some credit for trying, Because if I'm honest, the West Ham board, they don't spend money. So they've just gone and spent, 45 million on two strikers. What can you say?
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent. I don't think. See, the thing is with the West Ham board, they spend money, but they don't spend money in the right
Well,
places. They don't
I
spend
agree.
money well. I think this time they have because they've been forced into it. And look, results have made a massive difference. Look, they won today. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they're doing well. They could beat the drop. What do
I
you
reckon.
think? Do you think
I
they've
think they got a good
recruited
chance.
well?
I think they can do it. The reading, looking at Forest now, I just think goals. We know goals win games, and I don't think Forest are scoring enough goals. And I think now that West Ham have started to pick up the last few weeks anyway. Now they've added two strikers as well, fresh. Pablo's 22, Tellanos is 27, but he's got experience from Serie A, so he must be a half decent striker playing for Lazio. I think
Mm.
they've got a good chance. And if not funny, if they're paying 25 million, he's got to be a half decent player. And I reckon they've got a good chance now. They're still good players. They've still got Somerville there playing good, playing well. Bowen starting playing well as well. So they've got a good attacking force. I think they've got a good chance to break the drop, especially with your mate Adama Traore guy in there as well. Got a great chance. Him running down the wing and whipping these terrible crosses.
We'll see in a few weeks' time. We'll see.
I tell you what, we're not talking about loans, but I tell you what, I do. I think they've got in Axel Diassi as well from Chelsea on loan, which he's not a top class centre back. He's half decent centre back, and I think they needed the body in there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think Hillman and that are doing enough. They've done better in the last few weeks, but I think a bit of backup in there helps as well. So it's good.
I think Max Kilman's the worst centre back in the Premier League.
They bought him for 30 million.
He's absolutely appalling.
Lopetegui went and personally requested him to buy him from Wolves. Obviously, he had him at Wolves when he kept Wolves up a few years back. So he's gone and said, "No, this guy is the guy I want. 30 plus million. Bring him in." He's been terrible.
He cost them the game against Chelsea.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Poor centre back. Enough said.
Okay, we're last team. We're going to Wolves. So Wolves obviously lost Strand Larson for 43 plus 5 million add-ons, and they've gone and bought themselves Championship player Alan Armstrong from Southampton. Don't know what you think about that one. They got him in for 7.5 million. Half decent player, man. But he didn't do it in the
Yeah,
Premier League last time round, though.
no, Adam Armstrong is sort of
He's a Championship level striker, let's be honest.
he's in between. He's good enough in the Championship, but he's not quite good enough for the Premier League. Same as the Brereton Diaz a couple of years ago. But yeah, I just look. I mean, Wolves are done now. It's a shame.
Are they planning for the Championship next season, do you reckon, with that transfer?
110%.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are planning. It's done now. I mean, they lost today. It's absolutely finished, and it's sad. And I do really feel sorry for Wolves fans. I like Wolves as a club. I just feel over the last couple of years they've spent less and less and less, sold their best assets and not replaced, and that's what happens when you don't keep up with the big boys, even with the teams around you, and that's what's happened. So, life in the Championship, good enough signing, but yeah, he's not going to keep you in the league.
They also signed, he's a loan player, but I do like him, Angel Gomez, ex-Man United player from us. It's a loan fee, but he went to Marseille on a free
Yeah,
from thing, and now they've loaned him from Marseille. So yeah, loan. He's obviously not doing well there. He's come back to England where he grew up, but I don't know. It's just another midfield body, and I don't think that's where they need to strengthen. I think they've got Andre there. They've got João Gomez there. They've got a few other players there as well. I don't think the central midfield is what they need, but who knows?
Yeah, I think he'll be a decent signing for them. Fulham were looking at him in the summer. We didn't acquire his services, but yeah, I think you're right. I think they've got enough in midfield. Andre Gomez is truly capable of playing in that position. But yeah, maybe a little bit of creativity and trying to pass the ball forward. That's what they need to work on.
Yeah, I think, but like I said, I think they're gone anyway. We know they're gone as well. So it's worth, I don't know, get him in for a loan. Oh, well, they paid £1 million fee. Would you pay a fee for a loan player if you're going down anyway? I don't know. Bit of a mad
Yeah,
one, Rob Edwards. But yeah, we'll see.
Wolves season all over, really, isn't it? It's just been a absolute tragedy.
It's been a mess. They gave him a contract in the beginning of the summer, sacked him 3 months later, big compensation fee. It's a mad one. Right, so that's all the transfers, the main transfers anyway, done. Yeah, we'll have to see who's the relegation battle is getting interesting. We're going to do a pod the next couple of days on the relegation and the promotion teams as well. So that'd be really interesting to get into. But Nick, for today, thank you so much for jumping on, my brother. Thank you.
My pleasure, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, please.
Yes, thank you. Guys, let us know if you think your clubs did enough in the transfer market. I know Nicky will be saying that they should have bought a striker, but if you think your team's crying out for someone, Liverpool, like we said, we're crying out for a central defender. We've signed Xhaka, £60 million coming for in the summer. I don't think that's right. I personally think we needed a central defender now because we've got a bit of a crisis going on. Guys, let us know what your clubs need, if they got in the right players. And thanks for all the support and TikTok, YouTube and Instagram. And we will catch you on the Premier League weekly podcast. I lost it there. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.